see these babies right here? I was ready. I was ready to do some push-ups. I was here doing one-handed. I was here doing them just with the two fingers, just bam, 100 like nothing, just like it like nothing. But I get a chance to do that. Hey, we'll go ahead. We're gonna get into all that. What's going on? Los Tres Chingones boxing. Shouts to all my chingonas, all our chingones as well. Shouts to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's get the panel in here. We got a lot to talk about in the sport of boxing. I always look forward to the end of the week, not because the work week is over. That's one reason, but the main reason, the number one reason, is because I get to talk some boxing with my brothers, with my chingones. And here we got all three chingones are here. First of all, man, let's bring in el gran chingon, el mero mero, Mr. 100 push-ups, man. I'm talking about mi hermano one, Mr. David Contreras. Oh, man, I think we just lost David. Okay. David, I don't know if you're there, if you can hear me or not, brother, but looks like you just tapped out, man. Yeah, okay. You'll have to tap back in. What's up, Vanessa? Joaquin finally make one. Been looking forward to it. Hey, gracias, big dog. David looks like he's having a little bit of technical difficulties. Mike Angelino is here as well, but he's running just a few minutes late. But it is all good, Holmes. So while we go ahead and we wait for the guys to jump on, man, it was a long day today. It was a long day today, but it's all right, man. So first of all, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to one Mr. David Martinez, boxing historian. David Martinez, he from www.dm boxing. Look at this stuff, man. Look at this stuff that he sends me. There's a packet right here. Okay. For all boxing aficionados, go to www.dmboxing.com. Homie, you got so much great history right here. Shout outs to boxing historian David Martinez, which I am going to have back on here, man. If I got to twist his arm, I'm going to twist his arm. But, dog, he's got some great stuff on his website. So por favor, go check him out, man. There's a story right here of Jack Dempsey versus Jess Willard. So definitely go check him out. Let me see if I need to send another link to David. Real quick, Spencer. Let me do that. There. Okay. All right. So we all know the big news, and we're definitely gonna get into that. We are going to get into the big news, man, about the big super fight that everybody was waiting for that is not happening. What's up, Box Talk? How you doing, homie? We're definitely gonna get into that. Okay, we're gonna leave a lot of time, but we're gonna tap into a few other things before we get to the main course, man. Let's have an appetizer, let's have the side meals, but we're definitely gonna sink our teeth into that, man. All right, so David was in here. I think he's having a little bit of difficulties, but we got my other brother, the other chingon one, Mr. Mike Zavala.
What's up, Ed? What's poppin', man? Mike Angelino Sports, Tres Chingones. We're coming, man. Coming up, baby.
Hey, just like you say, hey, no boxing, no life. Vámonos.
Vámonos, cabrón.
All right. Let me see. I think David's back in here. Man, I think he's really having some trouble here. Let me see. Let me try it. Yeah. Yeah, brother. If you can hear us, man, we're not getting your connection. Oh, there you go. Okay. Let me get him off and see if we could get that on. Let me see. I'm pissed. What's up with Crawford? Damn, I missed the 80s and 90s. What's up, Pete Town? All right. So before we get into that main course, man, you know what? One more little thing of business, Despensa. So tomorrow, I will be at the fights promoted by Raul Lizarga. in Ontario, California. Let me see. I know David had all the okay. That is Red Ray Boxing Promotions. I will be there front and center, homie. And I'm gonna try to, try to talk to some of the young guys trying to come up and do some big things in the business. Also, next week, next Saturday, Williams Zepeda versus Jojo Diaz, which is gonna be a badass fight, man. I will be there. Mike, you gonna be able to make it, brother?
Is it gonna be in San Diego?
It's in San Diego, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know. Yeah.
Okay. I know I'm gonna be there for sure, and David's gonna be there for sure.
Okay.
So he's flying in from Florida, man. So we're gonna be at that fight. So that's for sure. So tomorrow again, um, Red Ray Boxing Promotions. Shout outs to Ray Lizarga. So I'll be there, man, in Ontario, California. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get into some boxing. Mike, did you watch the fights last week, brother?
The Deontay Wilder. I saw that one, and who else fought? You can remind me, but I saw the Wilder fight.
That was, you know what, that was a short one. I mean, I'm not really sure. All I can really say about that is that that was just there just so they can make Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that was basically it. If Hellenius were to some way win that fight, dog, the whole boxing, the whole PBC would just, fell apart, man. That fight was just there just to get Wilder back into the winning bracket so they can build up the fight between him and Andy Ruiz. What do you think?
And yeah, so we didn't really see it's a showcase type of fight. Of course, we all knew that this fight's for Deontay Wilder to get that vicious knockout, to get that, oh my God, he's back. Of course, we all know that. People that don't know what's going on, it's a showcase type of fight. But did this fight show us that he is ready to fight an Andy Ruiz type of fight? Andy Ruiz has power, man. Andy Ruiz is showing movement. And that knockout, if you really look at him, he's scared. He had his chin up and he just threw a shot with his chin all exposed. Andy Ruiz is he's gonna touch that chin, man. You see what he did to the other heavyweight? He touched that chin. What's his name?
King Kong?
No, they lost to Usyk and King Kong.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think, Ed?
Well, first, let's bring in El Gran Chingon, El Mero Mero. I think we got him on now. One, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, brothers, what's going on, man? How you doing? Dispensa.
There you
I
go.
just moved into this new house over here in Sarasota, and we're still working with the internet, finding what part of the house it works, what part of the house it doesn't. So, Dispensa, I had to re-log on again. Hey, brothers, but listen, before I forget, I want to send a big shout out to the boxing guru, Salvador Carrillo. I just ordered this shirt and I wore it today for the first time. The boxing and chill. And I'm telling you, Chingones, I wore it today for the first time to a place called Saint Armandi, which is like a little area here in Sarasota. A lot of the locals go there. They go shopping, restaurants, and so forth. This shirt got me into so many boxing conversations today. Not only boxing conversation, but also people taking photos with me with this shirt. I mean, this place, it sounds like they really love boxing. And it was the shirt that got me that, all the looks and all the people talking. If you buy this shirt, you could buy it from Sal Carrillo, the boxing guru. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. And Sal, I wanted to send a shout out once again. Muchas gracias. This shirt got me talking to a lot of good people over here in Sarasota, Florida, about what we love to talk the most, boxing. The problem was, Ed, no me callaba, so like right now. You know what I mean? I was talking to these people. My wife's all, hey, we got to go. Hey, but what do you think about last week's fight? Hellenius, I mean, these vatos knew what they were talking about. So I had a wonderful time. Sal, una vez más, mil gracias for this great shirt, brother. Gracias.
Okay.
All right, let's talk boxing.
Hey, David, real quick. So I was promoting the fight tomorrow, and Pomona is asking who's the main event tomorrow in Ontario. I know you got more information than I do.
Yes, the big fight's going to be at the Lincoln Limb Color Center, 11255 Central Avenue, Ontario, California. The main event is Raul Lizarraga from San Diego. I believe he's 13-0 with 13 knockouts, or 11-0 with 11 knockouts. This young man is from Southern California, from San Diego. He's from San Diego. I knew his relatives right there in the one of the barrios in San Diego very well. But I'm telling you, this kid, without a doubt, will be fighting Jaime Munguia very soon. Will be fighting for a belt. I give it a year and a half. This is a great opportunity to go to a fight where you're not going to pay much to have ringside seats, because probably the next 3 or 4 fights are going to be in the Mandalay Bay. They're going to be in Vegas. But with that said, Cholo, you're going to be the main attraction, brother. I've been sending your photo to different boxing shows. You got a press pass. This is the first time those Tres Chingones, one of us has a press pass. And you got a press pass, so you're going to be wearing that shirt. And I'm telling everybody, go up to him and hug him. So, ¿sabes qué? You better take your Vicks. You better take your 7-Up, camarada, because you're going to have a lot of people coming up and hugging you. A lot of people have been sending feedback. They already bought their tickets. It's going to be a great fight, man. I'll tell you, if I was over there, I'd be at that fight. But all 3 of us hopefully are going to be at next week's fight in San Diego. Yes. We're going to be right there. We're going to hopefully be seeing El Camarón, William El Camarón Cepeda versus Jojo Diaz. And I can't wait for that. To finally meet you, Mike. I haven't met you yet. So we'll be wearing our shirts, our new shirt. You guys have the shirts on. We'll be wearing them. And ¿sabes qué? We'll be talking to a lot of people there, having a great time. However.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So, hey, I will be there tomorrow, guys. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit, because I know we got the big story to cover. Everybody's over here talking about it, and I do want to get to the big story. But let's talk a little bit about Haney and George Kambosos. That, I think, was probably I don't know if it was the biggest fight. Definitely a big rematch, just to see if Kambosos was the real deal. Was he going to get the belts back? It was in Australia. It was put in prime time for us, which I really enjoyed the heck out of that. David, what did you see in that fight?
What I thought I was going to see. The only difference that I didn't see was Kambosos not fighting dirty. I mean, I thought that he was at the latter rounds just going to headbutt. I mean, because you know what? It just shows that he's a professional. You know, I thought he was going to pull a salido. You know, just all of a sudden, the hechazos, low blows. But you know what? He fought a good fight at the very end. He was never knocked out. It just shows you that Haney doesn't have that knockout power. And he doesn't have the eye of the tiger to take you out. Because he could have taken him out, I believe, in the 7th round, but he let go of the gas. So once again, Haney's a great boxer, but he definitely doesn't have the power. And if he goes to 140, he's going to have some problems.
Oh yeah,
Mike, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Kambosos gave, in the beginning of the fight, Kambosos gave Devin Haney different looks. He was switching stance, right? One of the game plans I heard from Kambosos' camp that he was studying Cesar Chavez, how to cut ring, how to bob and weave, how to go in there. And I saw some good things, and he was switching stance, and he did confuse Devin Haney. But in the later rounds, in the middle of the rounds, Devin Haney figured it out. He used his stick, started moving, boom, boom, use that stick, boom, get him with that right. And he beat him, man. He outclassed him, he beat him. And like Dave said, though, he has no power. He did get him a little hurt, and he didn't go for the kill. Yeah, he's a boxer. He'll take the decision. He's not here to show us he does what he does, and he gets the fight, and he gets the W, and that's how it's supposed to be, I guess. So shout out to Devin Haney, man.
Hey, Joaquin Zamora, I was just looking it up right now, brother. Okay, cool, man. I'll be sure to check it out, Joaquin. So, you know, I was talking about it a little bit on Tuesday. What I saw in that fight is that look, Devin Haney is a much better boxer than George Kambosos. Okay, he just is. I never thought George Kambosos was a great fighter. I think he's good, but I don't think he's anywhere near great. He was making me tired. he just kept moving and moving and he just wouldn't stop, man. He just, man. And he would switch so much to the southpaw stance. However, and I may be wrong, but I don't think he ever threw a punch in the southpaw stance. Maybe he did, and I didn't capture it. But every time I saw him, get in the southpaw stance and just move and bob and weave and get in, and then boom, he goes back to orthodox, and then he tries to unload a little bit of offense, and then gets back to the southpaw stance and just moves, and then boom, switches again. And I'm like, what's with all this energy that you're just wasting, man? Like he was making me tired, and I'm with you, David. I did not see a lot of. I was expecting to see some dirty movida, some dirty tactics. I didn't really see much. I was expecting to see a lot more. And look, he needs a better fighter, and I don't need to see another fight, man. Just let it go. I think Kambosos got a name from all of this, and I still think he's relevant. I still think he will sell if he gets in there with somebody like a Tank Davis, right? Because now Kambosos is a notable name. Now people know who he is. Is he great? No. But people know who he is. And in reality, in boxing, it's really more of a popularity contest. That's, it's kind of the sad, it's a sad truth. It's kind of a popularity contest. People need to know who you are, whether you're good or not. People need to know who you are, and he can still make some money and produce some pretty good fights. I don't think he's like a big action-packed fighter, but he's not boring to watch either. David, do you want to see Kambosos fight again?
Yeah, you know what? I'd love to see him go up to 140 and fight Teofimo Lopez again. I think Teofimo Lopez would tear him up, and I think that would build up Teofimo's ego once again. Because, him fighting Pedraza, really? I thought he was going to fight Barbosa. That would have been a great fight. But fighting Pedraza, dude, I like Pedraza. His last fight against Comey was a good fight. But I would like to see Teofimo fight Barbosa. But I see Teofimo's next fight is probably fighting Kambosos at 140 just to build up his self-esteem, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, Joe Mai, we're going to be at that fight. Los Tres Chingones Boxing will be at that fight. Mike, do you want to see Kambosos fight again? Are you interested to see Kambosos again?
Yeah, Kambosos is good, like you said, not great, but he's good. And this is a cliche in boxing, right? Styles make fights. This style doesn't mix good with Kambosos, a guy with jabs, and he keeps moving. He doesn't let him set up, and that wasn't the style that matches that goes good with Kambosos. You give Kambosos somebody that will bang with you, he'll give you a good fight, man. He'll give you a good fight. So you can match him up with anyone on 35, and if he moves up, like you said, with a Tank or in the bottom with Pitbull Cruz or something, it'll be good, man. It'll be a good fight. He's pretty good. You know what I mean? But styles make fights. That's a cliche. I know it sounds boring. Oh, I heard this, but match him up, put him with the right match. He'll do good, man. He'll do good.
I did not even think about that, man. You put Kambosos in there against Pitbull Cruz. And I am clearing my schedule and I'm watching that. That's a good one. Yeah, I definitely want to see Kambosos again. I am interested. However, after a loss, I wouldn't be surprised if he fights a complete nobody. But I'm gonna be real. I still will watch.
Two losses.
Yeah.
Two losses.
I think he's gonna fight a complete nobody. Next, we don't know. It's still, up in the air, but I don't think he comes back and fights a big name. I think he fights a nobody, and then he starts seeking a big name. But he can't mess around too much. There's not a lot of interest for Australian fighters in the boxing world. I'm just being completely honest. That is not a shot at the Thunder Down Under. I'm just being honest, man. So while he's got a notable name, use it, make your money, and try to build off that. So go off with the momentum. Kambosos versus Cruz will be a barn burner. Yeah, that would be a badass fight. I would love to see that fight. Mike, we gotta make you matchmaker, Mike. That's
Yeah,
that's
there's good fights at 35, man. There's the great fights, great matches. Put JoJo in there. You know what I mean? JoJo's not, he's good, but he's not great. Like we talked about this, Dave. If JoJo, if you don't have the right tools, the right game plan, he will beat you no matter who you are. So yeah, man. He and Kambosos goes. He's a wild card in there, man.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get into the whole Crawford Spence, but before we do, let's get into just one little other breaking news. And David, you kind of brought it up. I mean, it's not breaking; it's a few days old. But David, you brought up the matchup. Who Teofimo is fighting next? That match is made. It's against Pedraza. David, you spoke on it. I'll pass it to you right now. Mike, what is your thoughts on that fight?
I mean, they're taking care of Teofimo Lopez. He just got a tomato can, and he looked phenomenal. He's getting Pedraza, a crafty veteran. He's a Puerto Rican. He's a southpaw. He switches stance, if I'm not mistaken, Pedraza, right? Yeah, like they're taking care of him, guys. It's plain and simple. Like this isn't the fight we want to see, man. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, look, shout outs to Box Talk, Pomona, Joaquin, Hectic, Joe Mai, Dos Matador, Vanessa. Yeah, shout outs to everybody. David, your thoughts? This fight, it's made, it's gonna happen. What's up at Jesus? What's your thoughts about Teofimo Lopez and Pedraza gain it on?
You know what? They're taking care of Teofimo. Teofimo, I guess they need to build him back up again, and I see that. But it shouldn't be at the expense of us fans. I was expecting for him to fight Barbosa. That would have been an outstanding fight. It would have been, to me, a 50-50 fight. But like I said, they're taking care of him at the expense. I hope it is not a pay-per-view, because that same night is the night that Crawford is fighting for the $35 pay-per-view fight against David Evanese. So they're going to be going up against each other that night. So you know where I'll be watching. I'll definitely be watching the Crawford Evanese fight. I know we haven't talked about it, but we will. To me, it's a disservice to us fans. Teofimo needs to go in the fire now, and Barbosa would have been the fire for him.
Shout out Yule Impala.
What are Impala?
Look, Teofimo's last fight, right? He was saying he wants the big dogs. He wants to go in there and try to get one of the champions and all like that. And Barbosa was there, I believe, with his dad.
Yes,
they're in the front row. And they're like, nah, BS, homie. You got to earn it, eh? You got to earn that. You can't just go and get it. And I'm like, okay, I agree with them. I agree with them. And I think you can earn it. Not by fighting Pedraza. Look, he's not a tomato can. I don't think Pedraza a tomato can. I think he's a good fighter. It's definitely not a fight that I would match up to see like, man, this is gonna be a bad fight. I think it's gonna be a good one though, man. I think what happens in boxing is you want to see a fight, and when you don't get it, and you get a different fight, some people might be like, man, that's not what I want to see. Okay, but is it a good fight though? I think this is going to be a good one. I think it's a good test for Teofimo Lopez. Yes, this fight is definitely made for Teofimo to win and get some more confidence and get a bigger name at 140 under his belt. So do I have a problem with it? Not so much. I'm kind of like with you guys. Like, it's not the fight that I would have chose. Definitely not. I do want to see him against Barbosa. But it's a fight that, I'll definitely, I want to watch it. So what does Barbosa do now? I mean, this was kind of a big fight for him. So what does Barbosa do now?
I don't follow him that much, so I really don't know. I mean, he has the winner of Camarón and Jojo Diaz. I believe that he fights for who does he fight for? I think he fights for Golden Boy, right? Is it Golden Boy that he fights for? Because at that fight with Teofimo, I believe he was sitting next to Oscar De La Hoya. I believe he was sitting next to him. So if he fights for them, I'd love to see him fight the winner of Cepeda and Jojo Diaz. That'd be a great fight. or the winner of Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. That'd be another great fight for him.
Well, if that fight does get made, I gotta make a phone call, man. See what I can get. I'll be making that phone call tomorrow. So, Mike, what do you want to see Barbosa go now? Because if we're gonna be real, Barbosa in the boxing world, he's not really that known. He's not known the way Teofimo Lopez is. He's kind of low key. What do you want to see from him next?
Yeah, Ed, I'm not even gonna lie. I know Barbosa a little bit from the little highlights I saw from him. Man, he's a 140 pounder. There's a lot of guys at the 140 pounder he can mix up. I really wanted to see him with Teo because I'm like, who's this Barbosa guy?
He's good. He's a good fighter.
Okay. And this would have been a good fight for Teo, and I get it. Yes. This is Teo's second fight. It's gonna be second fight at 140. They're not gonna risk it. What's his name? What's the promoter? Was promotional? I forgot. But they're not gonna risk it. So, but yeah, Barbosa, I gotta really think, man. At 140, right? I don't know. There's a lot of fighters at 140 that he could mix up with.
You know who I would love to see him fight right now that you mentioned that? I would love to see him fight Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude. Jose Ramirez is getting married this month. That's why he's not fighting the Prograis and Cepeda fight. He was supposed to fight Prograis. But you know what? That would be a great fight.
That'd be a great fight.
Barbosa and fighting ready for a belt, fighting for the next belt. That would be a great fight. Jose Ramirez.
And you know how you make that fight happen?
We called it out right here on Los Tres Chingones.
No. He's got to go to their wedding. He's got to go crash that wedding. Be that bad. Do what Mr. T did to Rocky when they were presenting the statue. Go and right when they're getting married. You know when they do the whole. If anybody has or whatever that these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace. And he should just go right there and just.
You gonna kick my ass? Okay, let's get down. Come on, you the badass.
Hey, brother, if that happens at a Mexican wedding, and this dude, there's gonna be not only chicos, there's gonna be cuetazos, and that vato's gonna be shot, and he ain't never gonna fight. So no, not at a Mexican wedding, Holmes. Not there, man.
Yeah, no,
man. Mexican standoff.
Just throwing gasoline to the fire. No, that'd be good. Or hell, start calling up Kambosos. He's got a name right now. He's hot. That looks like a pretty good victory. Start calling them up. Say, come up to 140. You're tall already. Your frame's pretty big. Come up here and let's throw down. But
what do you think about Jose Ramirez? Do you think that'd be a great fight for a belt?
No, I like Ramirez. I do.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. That for sure. I'd like to see that happen. Barbosa was there for the taking. If you think you're as good as you say, that was the fight I wanted to see with Teofimo Lopez. But I'm not completely upset to watch Teofimo against Pedraza. I'm not completely, pissed off about it. Crucito, yeah. So I'm okay with it, but that's like you guys, that's not the fight I wanted to see. But hey, that's the fight we're getting. I think it's okay. I think it's decent. Let's talk about the big news that broke out. So here we're putting out there the insight that Los Tres Chingones has that the fight was being put on hold because Crawford had injured his bicep. But we said it. We don't want to spread rumors. That is just some information that we got, but we're not willing to put our houses on it. So, boom, there was that. Okay. This fight was taking a long time. It seemed like it was going to happen. It seemed like the contracts were there, which I do want to. There's a lot here, guys. There's a lot here. I've been reading a lot. There's a lot that the contract is still there and it's still valid, and we're going to get into all of that, okay? But, however, the fight is not going to happen next, at least not for Crawford. I doubt it for Spence either. I doubt Spence just waits around, but at least not for Crawford. Crawford is going to fight David. I always get his last name confused. Avanish.
Venetian.
Yeah, who I've actually met in person at a boxing event. All right,
Okay.
David, give me your thoughts, Carnal.
You know, first of all, I want to give a shout out to all these unknown boxing promotional companies. Hey, my respeto to you, unknown boxing promotional companies, because you're literally taking the bull by the horn. You know, these big promotional companies, for whatever reason, are playing like us, all boxing fans, like puppets. You know what I mean? Yes, it is. No, it's not. But you have this unknown boxing promotional company all of a sudden saying, hey, you know what's going to be on pay-per-view? It's only going to be $35. And if you want to watch it, $35. And hopefully the undercard's going to be good. Same thing happened with Cepeda and Progress. Nobody wanted to touch it because it was too expensive, but yet you got Marv Nation right there from El Monte, I believe, or Montebello. He took it on, and now we're going to be able to see these fights. So I shout out to these small companies. Hopefully they all come out, and wherever they're getting their money, that we start seeing more of these fights that these big companies are basically holding hostage. These little companies are now saying, hey, ¿sabes qué? A la madre, you're not going to do it, we'll do it. And you know what? And we're seeing it. So shout out to that. I'm excited about it. Even though it's Avanesian, he only has 3 losses. And you know what? It's going to be a good fight. He's a southpaw, and he's a go after. So it's going to be a good fight. You know what I mean? It's not going to be spent, but I'm going to pay the $35. $35. You know what I mean? I'm going to pay it. Hopefully, it's a good undercard so they could really sell it. But I'm excited about it.
And you know what? Just to connect what you're saying right there, El Jesus and Joaquin are talking about fights that happen like on Telemundo, right? A lot of these unknown fighters, and they're saying that those are the best fights, man, to watch, because they haven't made it yet. I think the same goes with what you're saying, David. The promotions, the smaller promotions, are out there really trying to get some good fights, man. Hey, Mike, what's your thoughts, man, on the Spence Crawford fight? Not happening, at least not yet, but Crawford having the fight with David Avanesian.
Yeah, this news came out yesterday. It just came out of left field. Like I was really expecting, wanted to see this fight. This fight was going to be the creme de la creme, right? Like we said, it was one of the biggest fights that was going to succumb. But man, I didn't want to see this guy. I heard about Avanesian. I seen how he fights. He's good, but this is a good fight for Virgil Ortiz. Avanesian or what's the other guy?
Virgil Ortiz.
That's a good fight for him. Or the other top welterweight coming up, Boots. That's a good fight. Or even if, you know what I mean? No, even if Crawford gets Virgil Ortiz next or Boots, that's what, you know what? Forget Spence. That's a fight right there. The Avanesian fight, it's a good fight. He's good. He's he's ranked number 10 in the welterweight. He's pretty good. I heard his name. I seen his highlights, but that's not the fight I want to see, man. If it happens next year, the Crawford versus Spence, it's a wrap, man. Scratch that. A chicken fajita wrap. This guy's old already. He's 35 years old, man. He's gonna get old overnight, and it's gonna be the same thing as Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Like, it's a dud. He's not pound for pound number 1. I'm sorry. It's Canelo, man. Nah, man.
Day One's is saying they were never going to fight. If you knew, you knew. Which I see. Going back to the rumor that we heard, man, the scoop that we got on, supposedly on the inside, it was really making sense to me, and I was like, you know what? That's once we got that information, that's when I was like, okay, this fight's not happening, man. It's not happening. No, now. Okay, first let me give my thoughts on it, and this is my thoughts on it. Okay, Crawford, he has not fought in over a year. So, and he, like you said, Mike, he's 35 years old. You know, Spence, he fought Ugas earlier this year. It's almost going to be a year. If he keeps on sitting on his hands, he's going to go a full year as well without fighting, because I think they fought, I forgot, back in February or March or something. But Crawford, for sure, man, he has not fought in over a year.
In November. He fought in November last year, this next month.
Oh, did he?
Yes, it was in
Okay,
November that he fought.
so it's been about a year then.
Yes.
Getting close to a year. Okay, yeah, Sean Porter, man.
John Porter.
But when this fight was gonna be made, it would have been over a year. Man, I just couldn't see this happening. And with what the information that we got, that his bicep was hurt, and they're just kind of putting this fight off a little bit, I was like, okay, a year is gonna pass. And if they make this fight, they're not going to make it in January. It's going to be in February sometime. They can't just try to rush this. Look, this fight is easily made for Crawford to win.
Yeah.
They're putting it on an app that I've never heard of before. Black Prime.
Very few people have.
And it's I guess you could call it pay-per-view. I mean, you got to pay. You got to pay. Mike, are you going to pay for it?
Nah, man. Sorry, man. I'm not paying for this, man. This isn't the fight I want to see. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this from the pound for pound #1 fighter, ESPN pound for. That's not the fight I want to see, man. I'm not paying for it, man. I'm not.
David, you said you are. Yeah,
the only reason I'm going to pay for it is because I want to push these small little companies that are taking the bull by the horn. That's the only reason I'll give them my $35, because I want them to continue doing like Marv Nation, what they're doing, because me being a boxing aficionado, I'm not going to let the 5 big promotional companies hold us hostage. So that's the only reason why I'll give him my $35, is because, hey, gracias that you at least have him fighting and we're able to see him. The fight, it's going to be a good fight, but not a great fight. And yes, he is going to win, but just to see him fight and just to basically tell the big companies, hey, these small companies are taking the bull by the horn, especially with Progreso and Cepeda. Marv Nation, mil gracias for what you're doing.
Yeah, because that's going to be a great fight. Definitely got to watch that one. Yeah. So, okay. Hectic is saying Spence doesn't like to fight tune-ups. I'm interested in who Spence fights, who Spence picks next. So let's get into that. Look, obviously everybody's upset. They wanted this fight. And we do have a bet with Los Tres Chingones, and we're gonna get to that as well, man. So let's talk about what is gonna happen. So now we know Terence Crawford is getting in there with David Avanesian. Now this leaves Spence open. Does Spence just kind of sit on his hands and not do anything? I highly doubt that, because rumor is that the contract is still good, but for next year.
Yeah.
And again, this is just rumors. This is just rumors. I don't want anybody to say like, hey, man, we're spreading this news. No, we're not spreading this news. This is all rumors, right? That the contract is still good, but that they are pushing this fight to make it happen next year, like in the first in the first 4 months or something, which it probably be, I don't know, March or something, but or April. So again, this is just all rumors. So that they're looking to make that fight still happen. However, now that Crawford has a fight, Spence, is he going to sit on his hands or not? Is that contract still good? Is it not good? I don't know, but I think Spence needs to step into the ring. There's already 2 opponents that he can possibly fight. One being
Steniones.
And the other one being Keith Thurman. Now, let me go ahead and just throw this out there, guys. Okay. What's his first name? Montes Steniones. That, I think, is the better fight. He's an undefeated kid. I think he's like 27 years old. He's 14-0 with like 9 knockouts. That, to me, is a much more interesting fight. However, I think the Keith Thurman fight sells more. David, what fight do you want to see if Spence gets into the ring?
You just answered it. Keith Thurman has a big mouth, and Keith Thurman, he's done. He would sell tickets. Steniones, I don't even believe he speaks English. He'll be probably a translator. he's not going to sell tickets. But which one out of those two? None. But if I'm going to be forced to see one, I'd love to see Stanionis, not Keith Thurman. But Thurman is going to sell, so they're probably going to give it to Keith Thurman if he does decide to fight.
My day ones. I agree. I don't think people are buying all those PBC pay-per-views. There's too many of them, and they are not worth paying for. I mean, Wilder versus Hellenius was $75. Like the PBC. Is
you know how many they sold? 77,000.
That's the number that's being thrown out there. Yeah. Mike, Spence gets back into the ring. Who do you want to see him in there against?
I want Spence versus any of the top prospects, Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz. Why not? Let's make that super fight right there. These guys are ready. I want to see that fight. I don't want to see Keith Thurman. I don't want to see the other guy. I don't even know the other guy. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Give me those two guys. That'll be a hell of a fight. They'll save that pay-per-view. Yeah.
Let's see.
El Matador has a pretty funny one. El Pelón Thurman.
Yeah, he's got to bring it home, huh? Shave it.
Yeah.
Bring it home.
Hey, my day ones, I would say probably just because it's a new promotional company, and they're gonna probably try to make some fights, man. But other than that, I'm not really looking forward to paying either. But look. Does Keith Thurman get into the ring with a Ortiz, with a Boots Ennis?
That's who I want to see him fight.
I don't think it happens. As a matter of fact, I remember Boots Ennis was there face to face with Keith Thurman at one of his fights, at one of Boots Ennis's fights. And, they were talking about it, but it didn't look like it didn't look like Spence was he was interested at all. He just kind of brushed it off like, we could talk about it and stuff like that. But he didn't want that fight, man. Virgil Ortiz, forget about it. Nobody's going to work with that kid. It's sad. I wish they would give him a shot, man. But it's going to be hard for Virgil Ortiz to get one of those big fights. I think the fight that we're going to see is Spence and Thurman. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm saying that's what I truly believe is going to happen. I thought that was going to happen before even the Crawford Spence, when they started to announce that. I'm like, I don't know. Thurman's still there rearing his ugly head. But hopefully they don't make it pay-per-view, because that's another sad one. But since the PBC selling pay-per-view, they can't sell with Stanionis.
No.
They can't sell with them. That's why I see Spence versus Keith. One time, sometime, no time, Thurman, man.
Pastime.
Pastime.
Yeah.
Bedtime.
Hey, David. Spence versus Crawford. Does that fight ever happen?
I think it's probably going to happen maybe in February, because it's too much money that's on the table. And we know that boxing is a money maker. So I think it definitely is. There's a lot of rumors going around. And right now, My Day just put that Spence is moving up to 154. He's not going to move up to 154. Not right now. He's not going to leave all that money, those millions of dollars, on the table to fight Crawford. And he's not afraid of Crawford. But there were some problems with the negotiations. Yes, we are going to see it. Now they're saying February 4th. That doesn't make sense. If he fights December 4th, is it, his fight, and then fights 2 months later, that doesn't give him enough time. I think that if they do fight, they might take advantage and fight on Cinco de Mayo, or that Mayo weekend, if Canelo decides not to fight.
Okay. Mike, does this fight ever happen? I mean, there is that chance too. My day ones is saying there is that chance that Spence leaves the division and goes.
Yeah, he's not gonna leave the fight. He's not gonna leave it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but there is a chance. But he's not going to. Yeah,
he's been talking about that.
3 belts. He has 3 belts.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Don't be surprised. Even though this sounds out of left field, But what if Canelo fights him at a catchweight and it'll be a super duper fight? Canelo they talked about that could be a possibility of
I
a fight
remember.
too. I don't know if you guys heard that, and it'll be a super fight, and he'll make that money. He'll quadruple that money he was going to get for this fight. So don't be surprised. He's going to move up. He's a big kid. So I don't know, man. I'm disillusioned right now, man. That's the fight I really wanted to see. Hey, we've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
Shit,
You know, look. I really wanted to see that fight too. However, you can make it up with making Crawford versus Virgil Ortiz. I would be 100% okay with that. I'd be fine with that, man. And Spence versus Boots Ennis, I would be 100% okay with it.
Yeah.
So, does Crawford ever fight Spence? In my opinion, yes. I think they do. Maybe word is or rumor is in the beginning of next year, Chale. I think that fight happens, somewhere in the last 3 months of next year. Whether it's too late or not, that's up for opinion or up for discussion. But I think the fight does happen, unless Spence really does move up and say, like, you know what, I'm out. I'm out of this division. I'm moving up. Crawford has ran his mouth too to Jermell Charlo. I just don't know how effective Crawford could be at 154 though. So,
now you know what? I could see Spence moving to 154 if Charlo leaves the belt and he goes to 160. Jermall.
Yeah.
I see him going there. But right now that Jermall's there, they're best friends. I don't see him fighting. So now if Charlo goes to 160 and then the other Charlo stays at 168, then I could see him doing it. But I don't see him doing it right now.
Hey, you know what, Joaquin? Joaquin? That's possible, but at the same time, man, Crawford's already old. He can't really wait for Spence to take a loss, man. Spence is younger than Spence is like a good 4 years younger than Crawford, man. He can't wait around for that. The Spence Crawford fight next year, I would like to see Ortiz versus Thurman on undercard. That'd be good.
That'd be a great fight.
That.
Yeah.
Fight Canelo for a couple thousand. She's of course it is. Hey, what's up, G Funky? How you doing, brother?
G Funky, what's up, brother?
It's getting funky.
Yeah. So I just it sucks, man. But look, there's other good fights, man. There's other good fights. I would really love to see Crawford versus Virgil Ortiz. I would really love to see that happen. So,
or Spence versus Virgil Ortiz. That would be a great fight. They're both from Texas. They both used to train together. I mean, they could fill up Dallas Stadium or Cowboy Stadium. Now that would be a great fight there. And have Boots fight Crawford. Can you imagine that?
It would. Just because the political thing in boxing, which I don't like, I think it'd be so much easier to make Ortiz versus Crawford. Just because of the way
Al Heyman's
politics, the way the politics move in boxing, I think that would be the easier fight to make. And it's unfortunate, guys, but I truly believe the next fight for Spence is going to be Keith Thurman. I know Quinones' name is being brought up, and he was next in line. To tell you guys the truth, he was next in line, and he stepped aside. They gave him some step aside money so he can actually fight Ugas. But Thurman is a bigger name. Is he a better fighter than Quinones? Probably not at this point, but that is a bigger money fight, and I see that fight. That fight can easily be made. Quinones is still somewhat young. Nobody really knows who he is. Yes, he's undefeated, but he's not bringing in money, though. He's not bringing in money. So there's that, man. So, guys, you guys want to get into the bet now?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it. So here on Los Tres Chingones Boxing, we had a bet made that if the Crawford Spence fight was made this year, that myself and this gentleman right over here, mi hermano right here, we're gonna have to squeeze off 100 push-ups. But if the fight was not made this year, El Gran Chingon, El Mero Mero down here, he was gonna have to squeeze off 100 push-ups. So the fight was not made. David,
We're on.
give us some words, brother.
Hey, brother, you know what? I do 100 push-ups every day, but I don't do them consecutively. I do 30, 30, 40 every day. I've been doing it for the past 30 years, man. So you know what? Knocking out 100 at one time, hey, it's going to be a little challenge, but you know what? That's what we live for, right? Purpose-driven, mission-oriented. Vámonos, Recio.
And I guess Jesus is going to do it with you because he's saying, nah, 100 are easy. Do 200.
Jesus. We'll do them together.
Yeah, you guys will do it together. You guys will do it.
Yeah, hey, but see, Jesus probably weighs 130 pounds. I weigh 260. So you know what? He could do his 200, and I'll do my 100 at 260.
So what we're going to do, to all the chingones out there, what we're going to do, the Friday before the Crawford Avanesian fight, Los Tres Chingones Boxing, just how we're live every Friday. That Friday, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna see if one Mr. David Contreras is gonna knock out 100 push-ups, Holmes. So he's got a little bit of time to I know he does 100 push-ups, but can he do them all at once?
And there's a lot of pressure on you. There's gonna be
there's a lot of pressure. There's gonna be a lot of people watching you, David.
Yeah, you know what, brother? It ain't no pressure, man. You know what? It's a challenge. And you know what? I'm up for challenges. At 62 years old, I've seen it all. And you know what? Hopefully I'll see it on video doing the 100. We're going to give it our best, you know?
62 years old. Yes. Oh, man. So, again, when are the 100 push-ups going to take place? Los Tres Chingones, we're live every Friday. The Fridays that we can't, hey, that means life got in the way. But for the most part, we're here every Friday. So the Friday before the Crawford fight, we'll be here. And, yeah, man, let's root our boy on, man. 62 years old, 100 push-ups. You know, they might be, a record here, David, from age and 100 push-ups.
Watch out, Jesus. 185 bone and nothing but handsomeness. A huevo, you're probably a very handsome man. Not as ugly as I am, homeboy.
All right. Hey, with that, anything else, Chingones, before we get out of here?
Hey, guys, I'm really looking forward. I'm going to be in LA working on that Howie Steinler case. It's a 45-year-old case, and I got 3 weeks to interview a couple of suspects. I've been working on this for 2 years, but I'm going to be in the LA area for 3 weeks. LA, Fontana. I was going to go to San Francisco. One of my suspects was supposed to be in San Francisco. Some things changed, but I'm looking forward to next week to finally meeting you, Mike, finally meeting you in person. And Cholo, I've met you, and we've broken bread together. Hopefully we'll break some bread. And I'm looking forward to meeting all the fans that are going to be going to the Jojo Diaz Cepeda fight. If you see us, we're going to be wearing our new shirts. You guys show them the new shirts. What happened to your shirt, Mike?
Oh, I don't want to get dirty. That's for special occasions, man.
All right, those are our new shirts, and we're going to hopefully take a couple. We might be giving them some shirts away, and we've only given one shirt away to a good, solid dude from San Diego. Also, we gave him one. Pero I'm looking forward to next week, man. Finally meeting you, Mike, and then meeting a lot of the people that watches the show. We'll see you in San Diego at Pachanga. Jojo Diaz versus Cepeda. It's going to be the fight of the year. It's going to be a great fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be there. So with that, Chingonas, you guys. Oh, and you know what? Mauricio Lara is fighting tomorrow. We got Showbox tonight. So if you guys want to enjoy that, there is that going on. But I will be at the fights there in Ontario. So if you guys are going to be there, we'll try to post up the information. I'll be there, man. Let's do it. So whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again. That is my brother one, Mr. Mike Zavala. That is the 100 push-up king right there. Once David Contreras, Los Tres Chingones. Next week, man. Hey, be on lookout for other content too. I got some interviews lined up. Hopefully we can make that happen. Los Tres Chingones Boxing. You guys have a good night.
Pomona Sal, expect the shirt. Blessings.